Scrappy Peeps, Suzanna here today for ThermOWeb, and I am sharing with you this Christmas in July layout created using some Laura Kelly for ThermOWeb goodies and her exclusive foils and stamps, as well as some Pink Fresh Studio Oh What Fun collection. So I am starting with that background piece there. You can see that iridescent blue with the words on it, and that is actually from something I got from Tuesday Morning in bulk, and I want to say that that's Dear Lizzie. So I am basically going to create a background on top of that that's going to frame the background, that is going to consist of some Pink Fresh, basically horizontal stripes. So I'm going to have some Pink Fresh Studio, some Laura Kelly for ThermOWeb. I'm using some toner sheets. So the two toner sheets that I'm going to use are the stripes are sprinkled stripes, and I'm going to add the red wagon, which is Laura's exclusive colors for ThermOWeb. And then what I'm putting through here is baby Swiss dots, and I am using denim jeans blue on top of that. So I'm going to have two pieces of the baby Swiss dots that's going to go across, and then I can cut strips from just one piece of the striped strips. I like to run everything through twice. It's just my way of doing it. Make sure when you use the toner sheets that you place the foil color side up on the printed side of the design, and you want to then put that in a parchment envelope and run that through, and always make sure that you run the crease side through first. That makes sure that nothing gets stuck in the laminating machine, and B, it makes sure that it almost kind of irons out the foil smoothly onto the surface. See my little fingers there? I'm getting impatient. I just want to keep designing. I love the way this layout turned out, and I don't want to wait for it to get through. And honestly, it doesn't take long to go through the laminator. So again, I've got the two pieces there of the Swiss dot, and then the one piece of the sprinkled stripes that I'm going to create stripes of. So I have a 1/2 inch border all the way around. So each of my strips is 11 inches long, and then whatever it is, I'm not very good at doing math, and so I just measure things out and cut with a pencil rather than actually measure things. I eyeball things. So these are 1/2 inch strips. And I'm going to cut 4 because my thought originally was that I would put a strip going across the top of the Laura Kelly baby Swiss dots, and then a strip at the bottom that divided it. But I knew I was going to need room at the bottom too for my Laura Kelly cute people. And so I didn't want to detract from that. And so I kind of left those bottom 2 strips just in case I had room for them, but if not, not a big deal there. So they do overlap a little bit, just so that you kind of have the consistency of spacing of those stripes. And I love the way that the foil adds that sparkle to a Christmas layout, because all Christmas layouts need sparkle, right? And to me, those the Swiss dots kind of look like falling snow. Now, it's very stark white, and I wanted to have less of a contrast, so I am using some of my super awesome Catherine Pooler inks, and I'm just going to ink out the edges there so that you almost get a gradation of that darker navy into that white there. It pulls together the layout, and it really pops the reds on there. So I was super pleased with how that turned out. It didn't blend. I don't do a lot of blending, and so I haven't had a lot of practice with it. So it didn't blend as smoothly as I would have liked, but you can't really, you can't tell, honestly, you can't tell. And that is blended over the foil, but you can still see the super cool sparkle of the foil there. So now I want to measure out my bottom piece there. Again, like I said, I don't do math, especially not while I'm being artistic. And so I just marked it out with a pencil and know that it's 11 inches wide, and I'm going to cut it so that it fits at the bottom there, and if I decide to do those 2 strips, I can. So when I was putting the adhesive, I was like, oh, that city scene's kind of cool, and then I can have people walking in the city. But the thing is, we're at home and wearing our Christmas or holiday pajamas, and so yeah, I liked the blue better, and it kept the consistency of the colors. Pretty much the colors of this are dark blue, light blue, red, and then you're going to have shots of green in there, but I didn't want to pull too much green into it other than particular spots. So this is foam that is to be used for the back of flock, but I decided that I like to use it to pop pictures up. It's just enough pop. It's not as high as the foam double-sided adhesive, and so it's just enough to kind of pop your pictures up off the page just a little bit without them being too tall. And I want to banner this red paper behind it again, just to add a little bit of a different shape to what's already a rather boxy per se layout. And so what you do is you find the midway point, cut as far as you want that banner to go in, and then you just connect out the lines there. And because they're longer lines, I did not use my scissors. Normally I would just use my scissors, but here I did pull out my X-Acto blade. So the top picture is the 4 of us. This is a traditional Christmas Eve photo for our family. So it's the 4 of us in Christmas hats, and then we have the kittens, and they've got their Christmas collars, and they were kittens at this point. I want to say they were July, August, September, October, November, so about 6 months old. Is that right? 6 months old, maybe-ish. And so we have them in the photo as well. And then this second photo is looking down at the pajama bottoms. And so that's why I wanted to incorporate this, because not only is it a picture about our traditional family photo every Christmas Eve, but it's also about our Christmas jammies. So I am going to use this super awesome stamp set from Laura Kelly that's called Me and My Peeps, and I'm going to stamp out 2 boys, 2 girls, 2 cats, and a frog. It's a good thing that the, what was that other critter that we had? The thing in the shell. Hermit crab. Good thing the hermit crab died, because there's no hermit crab stamp. I don't actually end up putting the frog on there. So this sentiment that I'm stamping here, it says Home Sweet Family, but I want to say Home Sweet Home for Christmas. So I'm going to, you can see I'm using just basically a plain old Post-it note to stamp home, and then I'm going to use the top half again to stamp, or the Post-it note, so that I can stamp Home Sweet Home. And then I'm also stamping You and Me, and I'm going to fussy cut each and every one of those items out. Now I wanted to add a little bit of red to the dots, red foil, and so I'm using a pen, one of the, it's a, hold on, let me get this right, a transfer gel adhesive pen. And so I am just putting little dots of ink over those black dots that are in the letters, and I'm going to set that aside to dry while I work on some fussy cutting. My machine is still running from when I ran the foil through. It doesn't overheat. That's the perfect thing about this laminator, and so I'm just going to wait for that to dry sufficiently that I can run it through the machine. And so in the meantime, while I'm waiting, I am going to start coloring in my people. I want to reflect our Christmas jammies, and I don't actually have a nightshirt. It looks like she's wearing a night dress, but that's okay. It's just the idea of having fun with these things. And so I will fussy cut each one of them out. Again, I'm still waiting for that to dry. It actually only takes 5 minutes, but I ended up putting some fairly thick blobs on there to make sure that I got the red for the red holly berries of the mistletoe. No, not mistletoe. Hollies that I want to draw around those red dots there. So again, still waiting for it to dry. I think it's ready, so I'm going to get my piece of foil ready. You're going to put color side out on the adhesive, put it in my parchment envelope, and then put the fold side in, and voila. Look how cool that looks. So I am just going to use some brush pens here to draw out the hollies, and then I'm using some other pens to color in my people, and I will not subject you to having to watch that whole process or me fussy cutting them all out. I am not fancy with pens or coloring. I don't do blending. I just kind of do it, and that get it done. So there is the fussy cut You and Me, and creating my own Christmas embellishments to go with the collection that I'm using there. I'm so pleased with the way that turned out. So then I wanted some Santa hats. You can see that hat on the young man there. So I'm going to literally just use this stamp and stamp on some white flock to create myself some Santa hats. So cool, right? You have to double stamp in order to get the depth of the color, especially of that red, and that worked perfectly, just fussy cutting those to give my son and my daughter a Santa hat. So I have all of the pieces here. Now it's just time to assemble the page. So I have that red label, and I want to put the Home Sweet Home in order to highlight Home Sweet Home. And I'm raising that up on some foam. So ThermOWeb recently released giant rolls of double-sided foam, and it is awesome. I absolutely love it. It is so easy to cut. It doesn't make my scissors all gummy, and it is going to last me a super long time. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if I am still using this foam at Christmas. Real Christmas, not Christmas in July, Christmas. So finishing out the title, so I have Home Sweet Home, and I want to say for Christmas, and so I'm just using my Pink Fresh Studio letters that come with the collection, or that are a part of the collection. You have to buy them if you want them. And I tend to, with my letters, not to put them on straight because I'm not very good at doing that. You'll have seen the Suzanna shuffle if you follow my work. So I try and just kind of randomly place them on there so that it looks like they're having fun. The letters are having fun on the page. And then pulling in just a little bit of green into the layout because my husband's pajama top is green and my hat is green, and obviously the tree is green. So I want to pull a little bit of green into it, but not have it be a very dominant thing there. So my smaller photo and that journal spot that says "These days are the sweetest," when the journal spot, they offset each other and create a diagonal visual. And then I have this giant white space in there. I will off camera actually fill that in with another journal card because my original intent had been that I would print journal strips and cut them apart and put them in that white space, but I actually really liked the journal card that I've got in there, and so that is going to go there. The You and Me I fussy cut, and I again popped up on some foam, and that goes at the bottom of those pictures of the pajama bottoms. And now I'm going to put my Christmas pajama family there, and off camera I am going to use one of the stickers that comes with the collection. It's actually a piece of ephemera that says "'Tis the Season," and then I'm going to use those same red letters that you saw on my desk a few minutes ago to put in Holiday PJs. So that is something that I do off camera. I love that little green bow up there. It's just the perfect shot of green up there to just tie. It's like the ribbon on the cake, right? It's not the ribbon on the icing on the cake, the ribbon on the present. I like to have little embellishments around my titles too. It just makes them a little bit more visually interesting. And I know I want something else on the page. I feel like that the people are just there and they're just kind of hanging out there. They're sort of floating, and I want something to ground them. So while I'm fussing with this, I'm kind of toying through, I'm mentally checking through all of the embellishments that I have to see what it is that I can put in there. So this is where I'm drawn to this big Christmas tree, which is perfect by the journal card, and then slide all the little people over. The other thing that I do off camera is I am going to fussy cut out some small presents and put those underneath the tree, which again, and some of them, one or two of them are going to be popped up on foam, and that will just again add some visual interest to the page. So just a fun Christmas layout featuring our Christmas pajamas and turning Laura Kelly's really cute Me and My Peeps into Christmas pajama people. So that is going to wrap it up, my friends. If you have any questions about any of the ThermOWeb product that I have used today or the process, please don't hesitate to leave them in the box down below. Thanks for stopping in today, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care.